Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CSTV. I'm your host, Kathleen Galtoto, Madam CS, and this is The Striker. Stay tuned and have it true and true. In The Striker today, we are going to look at the several benefits that Kenya and President Ruto are going to lose or miss out now that President Donald Trump is the 47th president of the United States of America. Remember, in May, President Ruto had a state visit in the to the White House in the USA, and there they made several agreements, including USA designating Kenya as the non-NATO ally in sub-Saharan Africa. But before that, if you are new to this particular channel, kindly remember to subscribe. Welcome home, karibu nyumbani. Subscribe, like, share, and comment on our videos. Turn on the notification bell so that the next time we are uploading a video, YouTube will automatically notify you. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming back. Kindly remember to like, share, and comment on our videos. We love your support and we love you so much. Now, to the greatest news that are happening right now in the world. USA just concluded its elections, and President Donald Trump is now the 47th president of the USA. And you know, this victory comes against a very, very heated campaign between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And as we can see, USA is not ready for a female president. It proved to us in 2016 when it had Bill Clinton, and now in 2024 with Kamala Harris. But that is a video I'm going to do another time. But for today, we want to look at what has actually President Ruto and Kenya specifically lost or going to lose as a result of Trump's victory. As all we know, as we all know, is that President Ruto was Joe Biden's ally actually. You know, Ruto established very good relations with the Democratic side of the of USA as far as the party is concerned, compared to the conservative side. And you realize that it is during Joe's time, when the Democrats are actually ruling, that President Ruto became the first African president since 2008 to have a state visit in the White House. And during this particular state visit, there were a lot of agreements that rotated around climate change, security, etc. between Kenya and the USA. And I want to say between Joe Biden and President Ruto. Now the question comes in, now that Biden is no longer the president and Trump is now the president of the Republic of, now the president of the United States of America, what will happen to all these deals? And I want us to take us through around 4 losses that Kenya is going to experience as a result of Trump's victory. Number 1, remember that President Joe Biden had promised to visit Kenya and Africa in April 2005 if he had won these elections. Unfortunately, President Joe Biden withdrew out of the presidential race, and Kamala Harris, who was the deputy president, actually took off as the presidential flag bearer for the 2024 presidential elections in the USA under the Democratic Party. Even with that, still, there were hopes that once she wins, she will visit Africa and come to Kenya, because, you know, she is a Democrat and she was a deputy to Joe Biden. And therefore, it could have been easy to, you know, implement or execute this promise. So the USA state visit to Africa and to Kenya specifically, and I know Kenya was warming up for this. President Ruto must have been very excited and very much happy to, you know, looking forward to meeting the USA president and hosting him in Kenya. And this could have given him a very serious ranking as far as his profile as the president of a developing country is concerned. So one thing is that that particular visit is no longer there. And one thing that we can be so sure of, we don't really expect President Trump
to, you know, to war, to visit Africa like that. We know his conservative attitude towards Africa. As far as the continent is concerned, he doesn't like the leadership in the African continent, and he doesn't like this aspect of, you know, Africa kind of, you know, relying on the USA for all their needs, financial needs, etc. His mission is to make America great, and there's nowhere he finds making America great related to visiting Africa. So that is the first loss that actually Kenya and Ruto have experienced in terms of his profile lagging to looking forward to hosting a president, the world hegemonic president. He has lost on that. And number two, in June, Kenya was designated a non-NATO ally in Sub-Saharan Africa. And we have very few African countries that are non-NATO allies. So when you're talking about non-NATO allies, these are countries, they are not NATO members, but they actually come in handy in terms of strategic security policies and plans, as far as the members of the NATO are concerned. And we have very few African countries in that particular NATO area. We have Morocco, and then we have Egypt. I've forgotten another African country. And then now here comes Kenya, that had recently received those status. And you know, being a non-NATO ally comes along with things to do with, you know, benefits in terms of research as far as security is concerned, loans on, you know, security equipments, the ability of Kenya to, you know, to import some arms technology from Washington, something that countries that are not non-NATO allies cannot be able to do what? Cannot be able to do with the ease. Now that Trump has become the president, of course, we know that some of the things or some of the agreements that a president signs when he's in office, they do not become automatically depleted or automatically forgotten when a new regime comes in. But we are talking about two different political parties with two different policies as far as governance is concerned. While one is very liberal, that is the Democratic Party that was ruling under President Joe Biden, here we have the Republicans whose focus is to make America great again. I don't think from where I stand that President Trump is now going to be giving loans to Kenya in terms of security, in terms of research on weapons, etc. So some of the benefits that Kenya could have actually attained as a non-NATO ally are not likely to come, because I don't think that Trump is going to commit himself to something that Biden started. But this one does not mean that Kenya now ceases to be a non-NATO ally. But if you listen very carefully to what Trump said, actually, during his victory speech, he said he's not ready for any war. Like, he's not accepting this USA pact, I don't know, missions, wars, etc. And that takes me to the next loss that Kenya is actually going to have. One of the major things that have kept Kenya on the global limelight is Kenya's role in peacekeeping missions. We were in AMISOM. Our KDF was under AMISOM in Somalia. And then we sent our troops to Congo, to DRC, to fight the M23. And now we sent our police officers to Haiti to fight the gangs there. And this was a USA pact, a USA pact mission. So the USA literally was, you know, financing Kenya's police officers to go to Haiti and fight there. And so far, Kenya has registered some aspect of victory. They have been able to, you know, to reclaim some healthy facilities, a certain airport, etc. But now, here is Trump who says he's not ready for any war. And remember, officially, USA had packed out of Haiti. It had removed its troops out of Haiti. And then we sent our troops there under the financing of the USA. And then comes Trump who saying he's not ready for any war. So the question is, who is going to continue funding that USA packed mission in Haiti where our Kenyan police officers are. The very chances are now our police officers are going to be withdrawn from Haiti because without resources, what will be our men doing there? So the reality of the matter is there's a very high chances that our men in uniform in Haiti are likely to come back. And Kenya sending its troops in Haiti, gave it some, and gaining that victory, gave it some ranking. And when such credit comes, it goes to the president of the republic. So if we are going to have these people being brought back, the police officers coming back before the mission ends, actually it could look like a failure on the side of President Ruto. Another area that we are going to have a loss as a country, and Ruto is going to get a loss as a president, it's on the USA Kenya Climate and Green Energy Initiative. Ever since President Ruto entered into presidency, going, to these international conferences, he's talking about green energy, climate change, we are supposed to be at the forefront. The other day, we even had an all day that we were planting trees, to prove to the world that on matters of green energy, on matters of climate change, we are at the forefront. So when President Ruto visited the White House in May, they signed this deal on climate change and green energy initiative, where USA was supposed to help, in terms of financing the green energy initiatives, the climate change mitigation measures initiatives in the country. And now, Joe Biden is no longer the president. One thing that we are sure of is that that initiative is not going to take effect. Why? Remember when President Trump became the president of the president of the USA? What did he do? He decided not to send money that was supposed to actually facilitate the implementation of the Bali Agreement of 2003, the climate agreement of 2003. And they said it doesn't see any reason as to why the USA's taxpayers' money should be sent to mitigate some climate effects in some countries that are not in the USA. So you can imagine if he ran away from the global climate change agreement that was signed in Bali. Is he going actually to honor financing a climate and clean energy initiative in a certain third world country or in a certain developing country? The answer is very no. He will just start telling us how the USA's taxpayers' money should be used to improve the taxpayers' lives, etc., and not to finance some developing countries that are mad with, mismanagement of public sources, corruption, etc. And we have seen him say this several times when he was the president, that he doesn't like the way Africans are operating their money, corruption, ethnicity, all those things, and then they run there to seek for finances. There was also a deal that Kenya is going now to lose in terms of investment in health and helping Kenya reduce its debt burden. That's what President Joe Biden had agreed to do with President Ruto. We are going to invest in the health, to foster public health. At the same time, they were going to help Kenya to reduce its debt burden, especially with China. And now, Joe Biden is no longer the president. We are so sure that all these deals that Kenya had with the USA are not going to take effect, or they are not going to continue, because we know President Trump, his aim is to make America great again. His focus is not on Africa. His focus is not on how to enter into some deals that are supposed to benefit a certain African country. That is not his focus. And he's always been very categorical in his campaigns, even when he was the president between 2016 and 2020. He was very categorical about this. So from where I stand, the win of Trump, in as much as President Ruto is among the first presidents who have congratulated him, from where I stand is that those, ties that Kenya had established with the USA in terms of climate change, in terms of peacekeeping missions in Haiti, in terms of public health initiatives, in terms of reducing the debt burden in Kenya, all those ones. Looking forward to meeting the USA president in Kenya and in Africa in 2025. They are not going to come into effect. And now USA has to, it's focusing on its own things, and it's high time now Kenya asked itself, President Ruto asked himself, how is he going now to reinstate now all to, to reestablish these ties? How is he going to go about with the Trump's presidency as far as the Kenya USA relations are concerned? What are your opinions? Let me get them in the comment section below. And yeah, see you next time with another interesting video. Bye bye, and keep subscribing.
Ciao, ciao.